Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, goodness gracious. So we're going to do round two. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I forgot to hit go live. So Gina and I, for the past 15 minutes, have been fortunately, because I love talking to Gina, fortunately for me, we've been chit-chatting for the past 15 minutes and thought we were live the entire time. So if everybody could just say hello in the chat, just so that we know that we are actually live this time. And I see a lot of people saying hello. Oh, yay, starting soon. Hello, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. It was a big oopsie whoopsie. I got so excited because I was chit-chatting with one of my besties, Gina, that I forgot to hit the darn button. So what we're going to do tonight, and I appreciate you all being here and joining us, we are going to talk about the Spring Fling event. So Gina and I, this is our second year doing this event together. It's so much fun to kind of get the crafting started for the different spring events and the different types of, I guess, card making. And we're going to be making mostly cards, but kind of using these different products and showing you different ways that you can create with them and really do some fun techniques, I think, is what we're going to have planned for this event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Gina. Luckily, we've had a little bit of rehearsal for this, and we are going to show you, I'm going to show you the kit, and she is going to show you her side of it and kind of talk you through why she designed what she designed for this event, kind of the techniques that you are going to learn from her. And I'm not going to show you the entire kit. So just so you have a heads up, I'm going to show you about 85% of the kit. We're going to hold back a little bit of the kit because we like surprises, right? So I'm going to bring Gina in. We're going to say hello, and we will get started again. So Gina, a thumbs up if you are ready. Good, good, good. So here is Gina, and we're going to do a side-by-side. So everyone should know Gina. I think that is here. So let's talk about the bots real quick, because everybody is saying, is this an infected video already?
No.
It is not. So the way that it works is, and I'll just very quickly go over it. We are streaming on multiple platforms. Because we are streaming on multiple platforms, what happens is our main platform is just kind of regurgitating the different comments to you, because Facebook can't comment on YouTube and YouTube can't comment on Facebook. So the bot is just simply going through and grabbing those comments from Facebook and showing YouTube and vice versa. Don't worry, there's nothing bad happening. It's just so that you can see comments from everywhere. That was like the first thing I saw.
Yeah. Well, hi, everybody. This is so exciting. I am so glad to be here. Fortunately, my buttons are working tonight. I'm very excited about it.
Mine are not.
That's totally fine. It is great to see everybody. We've got lots of people here. And, I thought that Restream bot thing was kind of cool, because a lot of the people that watch my videos, we triple stream. We stream on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But our YouTube friends can't see what our Facebook friends are saying, and our Facebook friends can't see what our YouTube friends are seeing. So with the Restream bot, you get to see what everybody's seeing. So if you can just get past the word Restream bot, you can actually see where that comment's coming from and who's making that comment. So that's really cool. I love that. I think that's great. And Christopher, I'm so excited about this event. We had so much fun last year, and this year's going to be even better. So I can't wait. Excited. Yeah. And I can't wait till you show the kit. Yes. And I have parts of my kit to show. And
perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
I was a little disappointed, though, Christopher. I was a little disappointed that I designed this set. I loved it so much. I wanted to put it in my kit. And then I gave it to you for this event, and they're getting a good one.
They're getting a good one. I think that we'll talk about, obviously, a much future down the line release of all of these products. So, but right now, obviously, it's just part of the event, and we really put our heart and soul. Gina and I mean, Gina has been doing. I mean, I used to watch Gina's events. We talk about this. I mean, I talk about this all the time, and was just in awe of everything that she was doing. And that's how I got into foiling. I mean, I was watching her foil, and I was like, this this is one of the most incredible things that I've ever seen. And now she has a foiling machine that we sell and glazes and all sorts of really incredible products. But when we get to teach together, it's just so cool because, again, when we're creating these products with a specific purpose in mind. When I design products that are like everyday release products, it's a little bit different because we're trying to, it's a broad audience that we're trying to reach to use these different products. But these products that we design for events, at least for me, I can't speak for Gina, I have an exact purpose in mind of a technique that I'm going to teach you or the way that we're going to use them. So it's a lot of fun for me to create these products for events because I'm like, I know exactly why I'm designing this stamp. When I'm designing, just a regular everyday stamp set for like a birthday or something, I know that you're going to make a birthday card. But for these, I'm like, I know exactly what I want to hone in on when we're using them. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So fun. So, all right, let me see if I can get my top view again. Let's cross our fingers because everything was going so well whenever we weren't, when we were, what will we say, when we were faux live, I guess is what we were the first time that we went through everything. So I'm going to show you what is in the kit. Penny, who is our incredible behind the scenes kind of producer, I think we'll probably put a link somewhere at some point for you to be able to look directly at the event. Right now, up in this corner, I got it this time, there is a little QR code that you can scan. I see that a lot of you have already scanned it, so that's awesome. It shows me on my end that you are able to scan it and get to the site. That when you scan that, it's going to take you directly to where the event is. So, all right, so let's go through first the cardstock. So
I'm going to scan it.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's good.
I'm going to scan it and then I'm going to share it in the chat.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
So we'll start with the cardstock. So first and foremost, we have the brand new. This is our Frostbite glitter stock. The Frostbite glitter stock is it's a no shed glitter stock, and it's in this beautiful kind of, I guess you would say, teal / green / holographic. It's really a really cool dynamic stock that we brought out during the holidays, but I was saying, this works really well for spring as well. So we had to put it into the event. I'm going to show you the other specialty cardstock. When we did our rehearsal, I showed this last, but I think putting both together would be good. So this is our new, it is our rose gold, and Gina called this like a satin, which I think is brilliant because it really is like a beautiful satin ribbon. You are going to receive a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of that. And then you're going to receive 2 sheets of our Perfect Blend cardstock. This is an 80-pound weight cardstock, and this cardstock is really used for alcohol marker coloring. You would use it for like ink blending. The only thing we don't suggest to do on it is watercoloring. It's not made for that. It is not going to stand up to water going all over it and painting. Then you are going to receive a sheet of our mustard seed cardstock, a sheet of our heather cardstock, and I got to move my Share Handmade Kindness giant block out of the way because I'm not going to be able to move up any further. Shout out to Miss Jennifer McGuire. I don't know if she's here tonight. Sometimes she pops in. Then we have a sheet of our rouge cardstock, cabbage cardstock, as well as raven cardstock. So you are going to receive all of these sheets in your kit. And when you get your kit, we're going to start shipping out kits, I believe, in about 3 weeks. The deadline for everything is 2 weeks for you to register. Don't do anything with anything. Gina and I will let you know if there's going to be any homework. I don't think for this type of event there probably will be a ton of homework, but don't do it. You can look through it and love and get excited about everything, but don't do anything with it until we let you know what exactly we are going to do. Okay. Anything, Gina, about the cardstock before I continue the next thing?
Well, I'm just blown away by this. This is like, this is me in a cardstock right here. This, right? I love it. And the palette is just beautiful, Christopher. I love all the different options that you have there. because I know a lot of people really like to follow along with the class, but then they gravitate towards certain colors, and they can, you know, when it comes time to do, I know for my class, you can mix up the colors and do them whatever way you want. So many nice options. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. So next up, we have our first, I mean, I guess they're all consumables, and this is the Gina K. It's actually Gina K and Brutus Monroe. It's a dual, oh, I'm on the screen, a dual branded product. And dual branded just means that it has both of our names on it. And it is the Wisteria Lane embossing powder. So quite a few years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, Gina and the team here at Brutus Monroe teamed up, and we created kind of a little line of things. There was like a stamp, I believe there was a die, and there was an embossing powder that we did. There might have been a stencil too. I feel like it was ages ago, but we launched the Wisteria Lane embossing powder at that time, and it became super popular overnight. It's odd because there doesn't seem to be a really great lavender embossing powder out there. So we said, well, we make our own, so why don't we make a color that is perfect for and complements the stamp and things that we launched at that time. So Wisteria Lane we brought back in the true, I guess the true way of bringing things back for the 10-year anniversary here at Brutus Monroe. So we brought back Wisteria Lane. It is available for you to grab it separately if you would like, but you are getting a full pack in your kit. This does come in a pouch. It has a little gusset at the bottom, so when you open it, you can set it down, you can pour everything back in. And I know we're going to get lots of questions about the actual pouch. It's in a pouch because we're saving you almost $2 in shipping because we don't, our normal, this is the thickness of our normal embossing powder. This is the thickness of the pouch. So we actually, your kit is coming in. I don't have the box here, but the kit is about this size is the thickness. So this wouldn't fit. So we'd have to go with a much larger box. And you know how shipping and handling is, it would be a whole lot more. And we would rather give you an extra sheet of this because you're getting 2 instead of 1 instead of doing a bigger box for you. So that's why we're doing in that sizing. Okay, so let me zoom out here a little bit.
And Christopher, I have to show them. This is the cardstock that coordinates with that. It's called Wild Wisteria.
Oh yes.
And I just, when you first sent me that way back, one of the things that's absolutely gorgeous to do is to do like a big background stamp on here, and then do the Wisteria Lane on the Wild Wisteria, and you get that gorgeous tone on tone look. And I'm telling you, the kit is worth it just for that embossing powder.
Right. And it matches. I mean, we literally took the cardstock and matched it exactly. I think we had like 3 or 4 iterations when we first came out with it. And we were like, no. It has to match it perfectly. And it's great. It really is
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go into now. You're going to receive 2 paper pads in your kit as well. We're going to start with the Secret Garden paper pad. So the Brutus Monroe paper pads do have the sheen that everybody asks about. They are printed on a large scale laser printing press. They are not printed on a press with like a CMYK, so it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. I personally love the sheen. I know that there's some people that don't, but I love the sheen because it for some reason it makes the card look so much more regal to me. I don't know if it's because it has that kind of finish on it, but again, you're able to do the same thing with this that you would do with any other cardstock. You can blend on it, you can do all the things, and we're actually going to do that in class. So this is Secret Garden. We flip it over and you'll see it will always have a coordinating it's the insert on the back of the front page that tells you which cardstocks this coordinates with for Brutus Monroe. What we can probably do, and I'm just thinking of this now, is I bet you we could get you a list of what colors it would coordinate with Gina's cardstocks as well. Just so if you don't want to get a whole bunch of Brutus Monroe cardstocks, you've already invested in your Gina K's, we can probably give you a list of what would coordinate with her cardstocks, so you can use hers, and kind of mix and match them. I think that'd probably be pretty simple. Because we do that with other events where we think like what ink matches this or what coordinates with that. So I think we should be able to figure that out. So we'll go through these papers very kind of quickly so that we're not going through any one in particular for too long. So this is our first page and then our second page. And the way these were designed is really just taking a whole bunch of different texture brushes is what they're called in Illustrator, where these are designed, and taking a whole bunch of different beautiful kind of elements and kind of just stacking them and layering them and adding some different wisps. And when you see these in real life, you'll see that there's a lot of detail to them. The camera, I think, gives you a little bit of the detail, but once you see them in real life, there is a lot of detail that has been loaded into these papers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that are going to be on one side. And then when you flip them over, you are going to see the secondary side that are very similar. Some of them will have butterflies, some of them will have the florals. And again, there's a lot of depth. There's a ton of depth to these. There's the different layers. Most of them are created with like 4 or 5 different layers. So there's number 4. This actually, if you look at the promo image of myself and Gina, this is actually the background. So we use this background, and it's we're fortunate to do that because a lot of folks will say, "What is that background? I wish it was paper." Well, this time it is. It is paper. So you could use it however you would like. And then this, of course, is the final one. So you can see they really mix and match very, very well, but they're very, very different and unique as well.
Those are gorgeous. And, looking at all the colors that are in there, you could almost mix those with any colors that you have in your collection. Just gorgeous.
Lots of rainbow, lots of different mix-ins.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the portion of the program where we found out that we weren't live. So this will be going off. I'll be going off script at this point. So our second paper pad that you're receiving is called Plaid Petals. So I wanted to give you in this event 2 paper pads that are very different from one another. Normally we kind of do paper pads that complement one another, but you get into a gray area of them being too similar. So what I did with this one is it's called Plaid Petals, and it is that really cool kind of beachy kind of. I was actually drawn to this kind of style because I was watching. I think it was probably one of the housewives or something, and there was a designer, and I think her name's she's like a beachy designer, Lily something. I can't remember what her name was, but she did like these amazing bright florals and all sorts of stuff. So I was watching, and then of course I go to her website, and then I'm looking at how beautiful her designs are. Then I'm thinking, how do I translate that? So as we design things, we kind of go down a massive rabbit hole of what, and how we're going to design stuff. I saw a tissue box the other day, and I was like, that would be a fantastic stencil. So it's, you see those things, but maybe someone will remember or know who, what her name is once you see this. So we have Rouge, Pink Lemonade, Alabaster, Aubergine, and Lagoon are the colors that match this particular paper pad. So you'll see, again, this is a much larger pattern. So these are the patterns that we have on Secret Garden we have the smaller flowers. We have lots of little bits and pieces. This one, you can see it's a much larger scale. So we'll start out with our first one, and we'll kind of just go, whoops, can you still see? Yeah, you can see that. And we'll go down, and they really complement each other. They look very similar, but they are so different at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our 6th one. And now we'll flip it over and show you the opposite side. And you're going to see I'm using both of these paper pads in my classes, so you'll get kind of an overview of how to use each one. And they really do have different styles, each one of them. All right, so that is our last one. And again, I think they're going to be very, very simple to use. And you could really use these. I'd say this is good for summer too, really. You can use this all the way through to summer as well. Okay.
They are gorgeous. Gosh, you don't need much with those. They're like the star of the show on a card.
Thank you. The paper beautiful. Is one of my favorite things to design. It can be cumbersome because there's so many. It's like, okay, I got 2 patterns that I really love, and then I'm like, oh, I need 9 more. So it can get a little overwhelming, or 10 more, I guess, with a 12 pattern pack. So it's a lot of fun, but it's sometimes it's like, okay, what will work with this, what will work with that, but trying to include as much color as possible is always my goal.
Beautiful.
Okay. So now let's talk about my stamps that you are receiving, and then we'll head over to talk about Gina's. So the very first stamp that we have, oh, here we go again. The very first stamp we have is called Celebrate Flowers. So this stamp set is a very unique size for me. I normally do not do a stamp set. I can't remember, let's see here. So I think this measures, I think it's a 4x9, I think, or 4x8. It's a very different size for me, but it was so important to me to give you this scale. So this scale of this floral will fit on the entire front of a A2 size card. And I'm going to show you the die set that you're receiving with this. I'm going to show you how to do a flip. We'll talk about it later whenever you join. But it was important for this scale, and you'll see why in the class. You're also receiving a stencil from me for this particular one that is going to color in the different pieces. Again, we'll talk all about it in class. I'm really into, and I don't know, Gina, if you've started, I think you have some of these, if I remember correctly. I love using the stencils to color in stamps. It's one of my favorite new things that it's become very big and super, super super fun within our industry, and it makes coloring really easy. I mean, that's what I'm all about. Like, I can't sit with a marker because what if you drop the marker and then you're like, oh my goodness, I spent 2 hours on it. So we'll show you how to stencil and really fill that in perfectly. Then we have Celebrate and Thank You down here at the bottom. So again, this is a new type of a new stamp size for me, but I think that you'll use it over and over and over again.
That's a great set.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This is my favorite, though. So this was the first one that I designed. And I had this vision in my mind for quite some time about layering sentiments. And I've been seeing, kind of a trend where we're doing, the big word, and then we, layer the sentiment over top with dies. And I was like, how do we do that with stamps? So Shaped Flowers was born as I was trying to figure that out. So we have two of these hexagon florals that have, of course, all the flowers coming out of them. This is also another one that we're going to talk about stenciling with, but there's some shape stenciling we're going to be doing. So we're going to be doing a little bit of masking, and you'll see what that looks like as well. So on here we have sentiments like Celebrate Today, Thinking of You, Get Well Soon, Happiest Birthday, Just a Note, Sending Love, and Grateful for You. So lots of different sentiments that you will use time and time and time again. And they are all included on this stamp set. And again, you will get a coordinating die for this as well. So you will get a coordinating die. They haven't arrived yet. Things coming from overseas are taking a little bit longer than they used to. So I will have obviously the dies to demo to show all of you, because I'll do one last live to show all of the Brutus Monroe folks how they work, but we just don't have them now, unfortunately. And that is my side of things. So I will now turn it over to Gina to show you. I mean, you guys, wait, I can't, I'll hold mine like this, but wait until you see. It doesn't get more Gina K than this beautiful, beautiful stamp set.
All right. Well, let me go to my overhead here. So I have to kind of do it this way, Christopher. I don't know if that
should be able
to do that.
Or I can move you. Yeah, that should be fine. Let me get rid of my overhead, and then that should give you more. And I can actually even get rid of me real quick, and that should give you more space.
All right. Okay. Well, there we go. All right. Well, make sure you do this QR code and sign up for the event, because I know that when Christopher and I were talking earlier, there is very limited space, and you don't want to miss this event. Is so worth it. So many beautiful products. So I'm teaching one class in this event, and this is my stamp set. Now, this is very, very traditional Gina K style, right? You guys know how much I love silhouette stamps. So I love this one so much. We are going to be doing some silhouette stamping, and we're going to be focusing in my class on ink blending. But we're going to be using a really interesting stencil, and I'm going to show you a little prototype stencil here of what it looks like. So this is the stencil. It's actually going to be a little bit bigger than this. but this was a prototype because we wanted to make sure that the curves looked good and everything, and it is exactly what I wanted. So we are going to be doing something really neat with this stamp set. We're going to be creating, instead of a traditional ink blend down the front of your card or an ink blend in a shape like an oval or a square or a rectangle or a circle, we're going to be doing this wavy kind of ink blending. We're also going to be doing some color blocking type of ink blending. And I designed a sister stencil to our Sea, Sun, and Sky stencil at Gina K Designs. This is a different cloud formation, and we're going to be adding some sky in there and doing a lot of fun things like that. So I think that you're going to really enjoy the different ink blending that we're going to do. Now, one of the things I want to tell you about this is, and Christopher, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I turned in everything, there is a die for everything in this set. Am I right?
That is correct. Every single thing on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little different than I usually do with my silhouette stamps, because normally I don't do dies with my silhouette stamps. But I did, I partnered with Simon Says Stamp for Stamptember, and I did a silhouette set with them. And Heidi had suggested, let's just do dies for it. And I said, who's going to want dies for silhouette stamps? And she said, well, let's just do them. Well, when I got those dies and I got to cut out the silhouettes and pop them up and create dimension, I totally flipped out and I loved it so much. So I said, Christopher, please, can we do dies for this? And he said, absolutely. I want you to do whatever you want to do. And he's so great that way. But we have a fantastic die set coming. And the die set is super intricate. Now, we did have some prototype die cuts, and I just want to show you how intricate they are. Look at this. This is what they're going to look like. So everything is cut out. It's not just this one big blob that you're stamping and then you're not going to be able to see through it. You're going to be able to see through all of the images. See how it just overlaps right on there with that little tiny shadow area. So I'm really excited about doing some die cutting with silhouette stamping for this class. Very excited about that. So with my kit, you're going to get this big 6x8 stamp set. You're going to get this large stencil for doing all these ink blending techniques. And you're going to get a full die set. And I'm telling you, dies, you all know dies are just an enormous expense to produce, but Christopher said I could do them all, so I did. And I just want to read the greetings to you just so that you know what they say, because I know it's not always real clear on a live stream, but we have, you are so kind. You make the sunshine brighter. You are the perfect reason to celebrate. I love that. You are the perfect reason to celebrate. Wouldn't that be a great birthday card or any kind of card for somebody that just needs that pick-me-up? We have the traditional hello, and then celebrate the little things, for they are the big things. So I think this one is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be able to do all kinds of techniques outside of the class that I teach, like emboss resist and your basic silhouette stamping. You're going to be able to do the kissing technique. You're going to be able to do all of those fun inking techniques like rock and roll and some of the other solid stamp techniques. But with the addition of the dies, you can mask these off, which is really cool. And what I mean by that is you can take a piece of cardstock, you can cut this out of some masking magic and put it on your card. Then you could do a really cool alcohol ink background or distress inks or any kind of background, and then peel that masking magic off, and it leaves that perfect hole for you to stamp that solid image in there. So lots of things you're going to be able to do with this kit, taking it to the next level after the class. So I'm really excited about this. Now, that's all I have for my kit. It's a lot. It's a big one because the stamp set and the die set is so big, and we are going to have a lot of fun with it. So there you go, Christopher. I think that's it's exciting. I can't wait.
I know.
Can't wait to get my hands on those dies too.
I know. They are on their way to me and will be on their way to you very soon. And I can't wait because, again, like Gina said, the prototypes that we did, whenever we cut them, so we cut them all out and figure things out before we send them for mass production. And when we cut them out, I was looking at them and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, these are incredible, because as dye technology is changing, and in the respect of being able to, because obviously when you see something like this branch, the branch also has a very intricate dye that goes along with it. Back, I would say probably when dyes were first kind of coming to light, and people were using the coordinating dyes, the inside pieces, and correct me if I'm wrong, there we go. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gina. I think we didn't used to be able to cut out those inside pieces. I don't know if that was a normal thing. So now with the new technology of kind of what they do is they put like a piece that goes across that like somehow fits in. I don't know how they do it. It's way above my thinking. We just send them the designs and they figure all that out. But it's incredible the way that they're able to cut out these very intricate little pieces in the center. And you can see how Gina, I mean, it's a good, it's a good dye design when it disappears behind the stamp. That's when you know that it's going to work out really well. So the dyes are super, super intricate that you're getting. I know that there were questions about for the sentiments. For mine, you will not get them for these sentiments, because these sentiments were kind of a little bit chunky monkey for us to do that. But you do get them for the sentiments on this set. But you'll see the techniques that we're doing with this. The sentiments, you don't really need them for what we are going to be working on. But yeah, so we'll open it up now to see if there are any questions. I know that there were some questions earlier about the QR code. The QR code originally took you directly to the events page, and there was a lot of questions about the SCT that's on there, because obviously that's another event that Gina and I are teaching at. That is not this event. That is an event that has already been purchased a long time ago. So I updated the QR code, so now it's going to take you directly to this event. So you will be able to see. We just have a lot of plates turning at all times, I think, and there's a lot of things going on. So yeah, do we know how many projects will be created during the event? So Gina, do you want to let them know? I think you said, how many are you going to be making?
Well, initially we talked about 2, but I think I'm going to have to do 3. Yeah, because I just, there's too much that I want to show. And I'll also be doing some demoing too, even of techniques that you can do that won't be turned into cards, but we'll make 3 full card projects.
Yeah, so you're making 6 with me, because I'm teaching 2 classes. So that will be 9 projects that you will get from this event, as well as obviously all of the different techniques and kind of side things that we will teach you as well. Obviously, we're not just going to be like, this is how you make the card. This is how, there's going to be a lot of different things that we teach you along the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The Wisteria paper is not in the kit, no. But if you go to GinaKDesigns.com, you will be able to, I'm assuming it's probably in stock, right, Gina?
It is.
And I know you have coordinating envelopes too, right?
We have some. Our mill is not doing envelopes anymore, so we have a lot of envelopes on clearance right now, and we're going to keep just a core group of colors. So Wisteria does not have envelopes, but you can always decorate your white envelopes using Wild Wisteria ink, which we do have. Yeah.
Yes. Love the every color. I mean, you all know Gina's color palette is carefully curated. And again, before I owned anything that had to do with crafting, I was following along in just an absolute awe of everything that Gina was doing. I can remember watching the YouTube videos that I tell Gina all the time when she had her giant die cut machine. She would lug it up onto the counter, and it made such, it shook the whole entire room. And now she has her own die cut machine, which if I can take a moment and tell all of you that if you have the chance, are these in stock before I say how wonderful they are?
Yes, okay, they are.
So this machine, if I could just take a moment to tell all of you that this die cutting machine completely changed my life in such an incredible way. Not just because it's one of my besties die cutting machines, and Gina knows more about die cutting, I think, than anybody that I've ever met, but the ability to change and adapt with what you're cutting. And also my favorite part of the whole thing, and it's such a silly part of it, I think, that would be your favorite part, but it's because of storage for me, is that this part comes off, and it is brilliant. It stores inside of here. So if you're like me, and this is a usable studio, as I call it, this is a real studio, but it is still a TV studio. So because of that, these cabinets are not as deep as like a normal cabinet would be.
Yeah.
So if this didn't come off and didn't store inside of here, and of course I open the right side of the, can you believe it? So this shows you where you put it in at. If it wasn't for this, I would not be able to put this in my cabinet because this would come out too far. So now I can put this in my cabinet and store it. And it's just, again, I can't say enough incredible things. I have gone my plates. It's time. I think it's almost time because when I tell you that I use this plate and have used it within an inch of its life, if you have used an acrylic plate before, when you use, does this have a special name? Or it's just the cutting mat. But when you use this instead of the acrylic, it's this soft touch, and I don't know, I can't explain it until you try it, but the way that the dye just melts into this pad and then cuts through, I mean, the most intricate dyes I could never even think about doing them on the other machines. I'm turning it, I'm flipping it, I'm putting it onto the other side. And again, do yourself a favor. Please do yourself a favor and pick up this machine if you don't already have it. You literally have, this is it, right? These are your
That's
files.
That's it. Yeah.
Everything else is done with this ingenious dial on the side. And if you are someone that's like me, that used to, that's really gets confused, and I mean, I still get confused, and I own a company that does this, about, what's a 3D emboss? What do I have to do for a 2D emboss? All you do is just turn this dial, and you're done.
Yeah.
And you can fine tune, which you can see, I was just fine tuning. I was at a -2 because I was cutting a die, and of course I probably don't have it here, but I was cutting a die that was so intricate that I was like, oh my goodness, I love this die, but I'm probably never going to use it because it will never cut correctly. I'm telling you, my friends, get this machine. And there's a little one now too, right? I don't have the little one.
There is. Here's the little one, the little baby.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Isn't it cute? She's so cute. I'll send you one. She's so cute. And yeah, Jerry, the die cutting machine is 6 inches. So it's about the same. It works with the Better Press. It works with the Glimmer. You can use it as a traditional die cutting machine with those tools. So it's the full 6 inch across. Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
yeah. I just, again, and this wasn't, I never had even planned to talk about this wonderful machine, but I started using it, and it usually sits back here, but I started using it a lot more the other day because I was an electronic die cutting machine junkie for a very long time because it was easy to just feed it through and just be done with it. But now I have been changed completely whenever I started using this, and I saw there's another plate now, right? Am I confused?
There is, yeah. There's the magnetic plate. Yeah.
Okay.
And that one's a little bit different.
Cut into the magnetic plate? No.
You do, yeah.
Okay.
So the magnetic plate comes like this in 3 parts. So you have your magnetic base.
Okay. Oh,
and the cool thing about this, Christopher, I don't know if you've ever used magnetic plates in the past, but I remember the old magnetic plates had like individual magnets in them. And so you would put your paper down and you put your die down, and then it would jump to where a magnet was. With this, the whole thing is magnet. And then this is the magnetic cutting plate. This is the gray plate that Christopher loves, but it's a magnetic version of it. And then there is a clear plate for on top for this one, but the clear plate only goes on top. You don't cut into this plate. So your clear plate always looks nice. You cut into the magnetic mat. So yeah, that is an option now for sure.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And again, I going on a tangent, but so worth it.
Christopher, I have to say, people are just like loving your embossing powder. And I saw one of the questions was, is the lavender or the Wisteria Lane embossing powder going to be available separately?
It is available now separately. So if you go to the event site, there is a link, and I'm not sure. Oh, look, oh my goodness, Penny's wonderful. She's putting all the links to your site as well. Thank you so much, Penny.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
So if you go to, there's a collection, and I think that Jess is actually watching as well. She might be able to post it, or maybe Pennywell, I'm not sure where it's somewhere floating out there. But the collection has the actual embossing powder as well as both of the paper pads that you can order with the event, and all of it will ship together. I will tell you, though, this is our last run of the Wisteria powder until Gina and I both carry it together again. This was a short run that we did specifically for this event, and luckily the short one just basically meant that we still had some left over from when we did it last time. But we have to do this in 100 pounds at a time, so we can't do a small amount in 100 pounds. I think that equates to like a little over 2,000 of the
jars.
So,
yeah.
with that being said, something we do together.
Christopher, I have to say, Christopher and I have a mutual admiration society between us, don't we? Because we both love each other's product lines a lot. And it was a few years back that I talked to Christopher when we did the Wisteria Lane powder, and I loved it so much. When he sent me the samples, I loved it so much. And everybody knows that Bruce Monroe embossing powder is the best embossing powder on the market. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's so good. And it just, I don't know, it never burns and it heats really evenly. And we all love it so much. And so I asked Christopher to manufacture all of my embossing powders. So all of the Gina K Designs embossing powders actually are manufactured by Bruce Monroe. So yes. I wanted you to know that because we just placed a huge order, and I know that you guys just recently shipped it out, and we're very excited to get ours back.
So I'm glad that the cat's finally out of the bag. Because, when Gina approached me to do the embossing powders, now all of our embossing powders obviously are very unique to what they're being used for. So with Gina's, we had to make sure that hers were as detailed as we could physically make them. So hers are milled 3 times as opposed to our 2 times for ours. And that's because come on, you saw the stamps, my friends. So, I mean, to be able to get the details inside of this butterfly and so on and so forth, they had to be super, super detailed. So when we were talking about doing them, I was like, of course. So when you're using Gina K's embossing powders, you are getting the exact same quality that you would get from Bruce Monroe. And that's because I take the embossing powders, I take all of our products very seriously, but embossing powders, they were one of the very first products that I came out with other than inks. And we don't have inks anymore because our formula, it's a long story, and we'll talk about it another time. But the embossing powders stayed tried and true just for the simple fact that they just work so well. And I wanted them to be absolutely perfect and to be able to partner with Gina to do beautiful powders for her as well. Just made sense. And again, like she said, we have a mutual admiration, and we've been friends now for many years. I met Gina at Junkie Fest, if anybody is familiar with that from the Stamp Junkies group, and instantly they tell you not to meet your heroes, but when I met Gina, that went right out the window because I was just like I was so excited, and she has been such a dear friend to me for the past several years and has helped me through a lot of stuff. Heavy and light, and I don't know what I would do without you, my friend. So I appreciate you being a part of this event. And I don't know if we have any more questions. Let's see.
Well, I love you, Christopher. And I have to say that it always does my heart good to know that when you were 12 years old, you were watching my videos.
Well, it was a lot of, I was watching you and Tim Holtz. That's what, I was watching, but it was funny because Tim, was when I was very young. But when I was watching you, again, it was that I just will never forget the machine. I was always like, how, like that incredible giant, I was like, that is, it was like an easy bake oven. When you lifted it up on the thing and it was rattling and you were doing all these incredible die cuts. And I was like, what, can I do this? Like, is this something I can learn? Is this something that I can do? And I have to say that something that is so incredibly fulfilling and will always be so incredibly fulfilling for me is that I now get to work alongside some of my dear friends and some of my dear friends that I was watching for a long time. Again, if you would have told me that Gina K and I would be hosting an event together when I was literally watching you and figuring out how to do foil, I would have said you are a lunatic. There's absolutely no way that you are going to be even in the same city as her, let alone standing next to her. And I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I say it all the time because I get to work alongside of my friends, and I get to, this is fun. It's work, don't get me wrong. Running a craft company is a lot, but it's fun. And, we get to have fun with you. We get to learn, we get to teach. And I think we're going to have, this event is just going to be, it's going to
be so fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just
remember,
you,
Christopher,
me, and Gina.
you were only 12 at the time, so that's why you thought that.
Basically,
That's why you thought that.
Yeah, but it was. But I mean, we just it's incredible that we get to do these things and we get to create, and that this is our job. And I think that we're gonna have such a good time. So let's say last call for questions. Oh, thank you, Brianne. She said, "You are both awesome and amazing. Our industry is lucky to have you both."
So, Christopher, the date. What is the date?
The date is. Hold on, I just had that pulled up. Let me give you the official.
I don't
date.
have my calendar. I don't know where I'm going.
I know. I had to pull mine up. So it is April 25th through the 27th. We will have the full event scheduling. It should be out, I'd say probably within the next week and a half, we'll have the full schedule. Just make sure that if you purchase the event, in the description, there is a link that you are going to want to click on and add yourself into the group. We've had a lot of questions about the group lately. Our team will make sure that you are actually someone that paid for the event and are one of the students for the event, and then they will grant you access. Generally, it's done within 24 to 48 hours, but there's not going to be something sent to you saying to join the group because some people have different names on Facebook and so on and so forth. And also, I know there's going to be lots of questions because Facebook has decided to eliminate our videos. I think it's after 30 days now.
30 days,
So with that being said, the Brutus Monroe education portion, which is our event side, will open up. Fingers crossed, we're working on it within the next 2 weeks. So that is going to be a resource that you will be able to log into as someone that has taken classes with us before. You will have a special tag on your account based upon which event you were a part of, and you'll be able to access those resources as long as events.brutusmonroe.com exists. So that is our plan. There will be a full rollout very soon, letting you know that all of that has transitioned over. And eventually, we're going to be hosting, hopefully, everything at events.brutusmonroe.com. You will have password access. You'll be able to go in. You'll be able to see everything. And we won't even have to worry about all the buffoonery of them potentially, taking away all of these things that we utilize for our businesses every day. And I get it that it's a free thing and so on and so forth, but they gave us like a week. They were like, just a heads up.
And everything. Christopher, Brianne asked a great question. Where will these classes be hosted?
These current will be hosted on Facebook. So they will be hosted on Facebook. When you join the Facebook group, you'll be able to chat and go back and forth with one another. Gina will stream from Gina K Designs, just like she did last time. I will stream from Brutus Monroe, just like we did last time. And we will have a whole bunch of moderators that will be able to answer any questions for you, help you out with anything that you need help with. And it's a really great experience. If you have not done a Brutus Monroe class before, I think that this is the one to kind of start with. Create Your Own Ending, which is one that's a little bit later, that's a really big event. So I would say try this one. Create Your Own Ending actually launches, I think, in a couple of weeks. But try this one. If you love this one, then you can kind of, dip your foot into Create Your Own Ending, which is a much larger event. But this is the perfect event to start with because it's a smaller event and it's just you, me, and Gina. And, obviously any of the other students that join. But I think it'll be a good one for you to begin with.
And then tell us again what's going to happen with the videos. You're going to put those on your resource center.
Correct. So they will go to events.brutusmonroe.com and you will receive an email. So once everything has transitioned over, which will be probably within about a week after the event ends, you will actually see that everything has transitioned over. So this event will not be hosted there. This will still be hosted on Facebook because we won't have all the kinks worked out by April. We're hoping like end of Q3, quarter 3 this year is when we'll have that all finalized. But it will all go into a resource bank that you will have access to. So you don't have to do anything. You will literally have access based upon your purchase history with Brutus Monroe. So our system, if everything works the way that it's supposed to, will be intuitive and will know that you purchased the Spring Fling event. When you log in, that is a resource that you will be able to see. Now, the way it'll work is if you didn't purchase one of the events, you'll just be locked out of it until you would purchase that event. if it works the way that we're planning for it to work. So we have done some back-end testing, but really, you know, we're going to be having some guinea pigs from previous events, not this current event. There was an event, I think it was like merrymaking 2 years ago or something, is where we're starting with. So they'll be our guinea pigs of, you know, being able to sign in and so on and so forth. It'll be polished and chef's kiss by the time it gets to you.
And this way you won't lose access to this. So if you sign up for the event and something happens and you can't do it live, you'll be able to do it live on Facebook for the 30 days, but then Christopher will have it for you on his special site. So you will have lifetime access to that.
Yeah, we've moved everything over to a separate event site just simply because it was getting too confusing, because, you know, we do 4 big events a year and then we do a couple mini events based upon our specialty boxes. So what was happening is we have also subscriptions and so on and so forth. We were getting, you know, tons of phenomenal orders on our just regular Brutus Monroe site, but then we would launch an event. So it was very difficult for the team to separate out what was going on with events that weren't happening for a month or so down the line, and what we were doing with our regular everyday orders from our partners in creativity. So that's where we were running into the issue. So we were like, let's just move everything to an event site. Your account will work on both sides, but it just made much more sense to keep it over there, and then things don't get lost either. If you're looking for the Spring Fling event with Gina K and Christopher Allen, everything's in one spot. You're not like leafing through a website to try to find things, you know, on the Brutus Monroe site as well. So we think it's a little bit easier to use. And if there's any questions or problems, you just shoot an email to events@brutusmonroe.com and we'll take a look at that.
And then all of the products from this event eventually will be going into our individual inventories, but we don't have dates for that at this time. So if you want these products for spring, just get the kit. It's going to be a better value when you buy it as an event, because these products are deeply discounted for the event. So, you know, if you see anything that you like so far, it really does pay to sign up for the event. And then you get the free classes too.
Yes. Will we get a schedule so I can plan my trip? Yes, the schedule will go out. I'll meet. I have a meeting with the team tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. I'm actually live with Jennifer McGuire tomorrow. So because of that, I think the meeting's going to be kicked a little bit forward. With that being said, because things change. I mean, you know, Gina, constantly it's like this is changing to this is moving to that. So I think we'll have our final meeting tomorrow to figure out what that schedule is. We just have to figure out where the last kind of piece of it is. So I would say no later than Monday. So if you sign up, I'll actually make that promise to you. If you sign up, you know, this week, no later than Monday, you will receive an email that gives you all the schedule itinerary. I think that I can 100% make that promise. It's what, Wednesday? Oh yeah, we can do that.
Awesome.
Perfect.
That's great. Oh.
Yes, but probably it's going to be a couple months down the road. It's not going to be right away.
Yeah.
Because we already have all of our releases preset. I mean, I know that Gina's very much like me, that she probably has a couple of months already preset, just like I do. So it's kind of hard to finagle those things in. And for us, I think ours doesn't release. I think it's like a month and a half, 2 months after the event.
Yep.
So
sounds
all right.
about right.
Well, I love you so much, my friend. Thank you.
I love you too. It was great to spend time with you tonight,
Yes.
and to spend time with everybody. And I'm really excited to craft with you guys at this event. So I hope you'll sign up.
Yes, and the price is the same if you attend virtually. The reason for that is the people that are here in person, their meals are the same as your shipping. So that is how we figured that out. So it's the same price either way, because they don't have any shipping because they're getting in person, but they're getting meals. You have free shipping and you're not getting meals. So it's the same price either way. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear friend, for hanging out with me tonight. And we'll see you all hopefully in class.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.